Warning, this show contains strong language and topics that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
Regular Sam, we've got to go back to Brooklyn.
We've never been to Brooklyn, Second Sam.
What?
Now get the cards, the charts from my generation. I'll take the come on, let's get it out. Don't get the lies, the money. We're in this together and through it all. They said that nothing's forever, and they refuse to see the change in me. Why won't they wake up?
Welcome to Suplah City.
Hello Suplah City and welcome to another edition of the Suplah. I am Andy Quad and with me as always is Liam Dunn.
You ready for another instalment of your Riddle Streak, Andrew?
I'm never ready.
You see, really? Because you always seem overly keen to get it out of the way. Whenever I try and start the show off talking about the news, you're always like, let's get the riddle done, so I can get it out of the way and then laugh at myself. Right? So I thought, you know what? He wants it always at the start of the show. So we're going to do it at the start of the show.
Good. Okay. So, what's the count now?
I don't know. Sam, put it up now.
That's really shit.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But, you know, there could be some slight chance that you equal the score if somehow the year gets prolonged by a couple of weeks. Maybe
How does
months.
that work, Liam?
I don't know. You ask for a miracle and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, anyway. So, time for your riddle. Okay. Have you got a pen and paper?
Give me a minute.
I only ask him this because he always needs a pen and paper for anything. I can ask him what 2 + 2 is, and he'll need a piece of paper. That's the only reason.
I believe it's 4.
You're not quite sure then, are you?
I win! I get 100 points!
Right, okay, so are you familiar with the song Pop Goes the Weasel?
Is that the one that goes... Is it that one?
Yep, that is the one. I mean, you're familiar with the tune by the sounds of it, not quite the lyrics, but okay. Which is a shame for you, because this is about the lyrics.
Oh, fuck. Can you just do a different riddle?
No. And this has been a riddle submitted by Sam, actually. This is the first time that someone else has suggested a riddle for Andy. So, are you ready?
Wait, so something... Oh,
I haven't said it yet, so...
Okay, yes.
Okay, right, are you ready? It's on my phone. So.
I'm trying to figure out what the actual lyrics are. It's something about going around a merry-go-round, isn't it? I don't fucking know! I don't know! I've heard this thing since I was like fucking 4! How the fuck do I know?
Right.
Oh, dang it. I'm gonna fucking fail already. Great. Good start.
No, it's a fairly simple one, to be fair.
Yeah, but I don't know the fucking lyrics!
Well, no, right. Listen, and you might be able to get it. Right, trust your instincts here, okay?
Do you really want me to do that?
No, because sometimes with a song, you don't know the lyrics until it starts being sung, right?
You're gonna sing it.
I'm gonna sing a part of it.
Holy shit. He's actually singing on the show.
It's not a proper singing. Calm down. Right. The monkey saw a movie last night with his good friend the weasel. They saw The Passion of the Christ starring...
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, because Vin Diesel's in The Passion of the Christ. Yeah, makes sense.
Mel Gibson.
That doesn't even rhyme!
That is Weasel? What Diesel? That rhymes. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but Vin Diesel wasn't in Passion of the Christ.
Mel Gibson was.
No, he directed it.
Wasn't he? He was Jesus. Actually, you know what? I'll go with my first choice because Weasel and Diesel rhyme.
So you think Vin Diesel was in Passion of the Christ?
Wait, I know he was.
Groot from
He
Guardians
wasn't in
of
it. Who was in Passion of the Christ?
Have you? You tell me. That's the answer.
Was it in Mel Gibson? He was in. No, did Mel Gibson direct it? I don't fucking know.
Well, I told you that, so I've given you one clue. You've said 2 names. I need a third. If you get the third wrong, you're out of the game.
What was the clue? Because the Skype connection died.
He's in Passion of the Christ. That's the clue.
Jesus?
Yeah, Passion of the Christ starring Jesus. He's playing himself now. Did you know that?
I don't know. These things are stupid. I fucking hate them. The sooner we get rid of this segment, the fucking better the show will be.
Right, so you're wrong. Add that
No shit! Of course that ain't the fucking Messiah, is it, you fucking rem?
Add that to the scoreboard.
Whatever, I don't give a toss anymore. So what is it?
So the answer is... The monkey saw a movie last night with his good friend the weasel. They saw The Passion of the Christ starring Jim Caviezel. He sounds pissed off. He's not even saying anything and he sounds annoyed.
Riddles. I've got a riddle. What can go fuck itself and go straight to hell? A fucking riddle. There we go. Victory. Stupid. They're dumb. They're just the dumbest thing on the planet.
It's not my fault you haven't seen Passion of the Christ, mate.
I have seen it, but it was years ago.
It's not my fault. It's a very simple question with a very simple answer.
Fuck it. I want another riddle.
You want another riddle?
I want another riddle now.
Okay, alright. Ironically, I had prepared one, just in case this ever happened. Because it's round 2, I'll do you a deal, right?
Okay.
If you get this,
Yeah.
it's worth 50 points.
But if I lose...
You go down 50 points.
I'm not doing this. I think I've changed my mind.
Alright, 10 points. 10 points either way.
Alright, great. Fine.
10 points, yeah?
Yeah.
See? Haggling, that's what you do when you're a businessman. Okay, pen and paper?
Yes, pen and paper.
A detective who was mere days away from cracking an international oil smuggling ring has suddenly gone missing. While inspecting his last known location, officers find a note. Get your pen and paper, you will want this.
Okay, what's on the note?
710
Yep.
577 3534 5508 517718.
Okay, so I'm supposed to change the number.
No, I haven't finished yet. Currently, there are 3 suspects. Bill, John, and Todd. Can
Is
you
it
break...
Bill? Wait, Bill?
John, and Todd. Can you break the detective's code and find the criminal's name? So because it's a multiple choice, you've only got one. One answer.
2 hours later.
It was Bill, because if you flip over the 8, this like the 7718, it spells Bill.
Okay, you've given me part of the answer, but you haven't said what the entire message says.
Oh, Bill is...
You've got to crack the detective's code. So far, you've just got a name.
Bill is... Bill is something... Or something oil. Like, I think I got the numbers wrong, because this doesn't make sense. Oh, Bill is something sells oil. Bill is...
I need the full answer.
What is that? What number is that? That's a 0. Bill is... Goss. That's not a word! Bill is... Oh god, I think I missed some numbers out.
Well, if you can't crack it, I can't give you the full answer, so I'm afraid you got it wrong!
No, wait,
No, sorry, final call.
Wait, no, wait, I'm nearly done.
Final
I'm nearly done.
call.
I'm thinking
He's got it
I'm
wrong.
thinking it out.
Add 10 to the lost points. It says, Bill is boss, he sells oil. You were so close. You were so close.
I thought give me like half a point for getting part of it right.
No.
A quarter of a point.
No.
That's fucking...
No, because you need... No, the riddle was, can you break the detective's code? And you couldn't.
Phil is boss, he sells... That doesn't say he. Oh, that's why! Because the fucking thing's on the wrong... It says air. Mine says air. That's why I couldn't get it. Bill is boss, air sells oil. I got it the wrong way round! Look at this shit! Seriously, look. Bill is boss, air sells oil.
That's amazing.
I fucked it up because I've got the fucking numbers the wrong way round. For fuck's sake, that's the reason why I failed. I got it right. I actually got it right.
No, you
It says
didn't.
air. It says fucking air. Air. What is air? Air. He's not Canadian.
I think he's done. I think he's finished. Do you want to start talking about the news then?
The draft happened. So basically, the draft is now in full swing. We've had 2 weeks of this thing. What do we think? Because there is more news about the draft. According to good old Davey Meltzer, our best friend who says things are happening.
Yeah, when we look for him for resources of news, he just says things are happening.
Yeah.
Which you can't, which really doesn't help matters.
He basically says, oh hey, SmackDown's going to get a woman's title and SmackDown's going to get tag belts as well.
When we first started talking about the draft, I always had a bit of an issue with the idea of what's going to happen with it, and they kind of made a big deal that the WWE Championship was on the line, and that whoever won it, that would be the brand that would have the WWE Championship. So we knew that they weren't going to share the belts. So it made sense. I wasn't happy with the idea of making another World Championship belt, because whilst I think it can work, the fact that it failed towards the end, that has what has given me trepidation over it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the World Heavyweight Championship was a big championship back in the original draft. One, it had the lineage of the WCW Championship, which gave it some prestige, which is something that the Universal Championship doesn't have. It is a brand new championship, and therefore it is the youngest championship, but it's being considered bigger than the United States Championship, the Intercontinental, all of that sort of stuff. On top of that, the World Heavyweight Championship, it had the lineage, and it had main evented pay-per-views. It main evented, I think, 2 WrestleManias back-to-back, 20 and 21. And then, when the draft started to kind of be slowly dissolved, the World Heavyweight Championship just became a mid-card belt. Yeah. It became a glorified Intercontinental United States Championship belt. Anybody could kind of go for it. And not really any of the big guys until John Cena, really. So that's why I've had trepidation. And again, because it's a brand new championship, it doesn't have a lineage like the World Heavyweight Championship did.
I just hate the fucking name. Like, it's...
Well, I'll talk about the name in a minute. But I want to talk about the other belts. So SmackDown is going to be getting its own tag team championship and its own women's championship. I think this is not a good idea, frankly. One of the things that I had an issue with when it comes to the original draft was that, or the original brand split, was that I felt, aside from the characters, the brands were very similar. You know, yes, you had Triple H on Raw and you had Kurt Angle on SmackDown. I get that that was a difference there. But overall, they both had a World Championship. They both had a mid-card belt. They both had tag belts. And it wasn't until around 2008 did they both have women's belts. The only difference that they had in the initial draft split was that the women's belt was on Raw and the Cruiserweight belt was on SmackDown. Now, you're going to kind of do that again. SmackDown's not going to have much of an identity, especially when Raw is going to have the Cruiserweight division. SmackDown's got nothing to combat that, so it's going to feel, again, very much like Raw. I mean, a colour scheme and different characters can only do so much for differentiating the products. I don't see why they didn't draft... I know it sounds bad, but I don't see why they... they didn't draft all the women to, say, SmackDown. So the women's division's on SmackDown, and Raw gets the cruiserweight and the tag teams. Because I don't think SmackDown... But then again, this is the problem. They put tag teams on SmackDown. So if they didn't have a belt, they've got nothing to fight for.
Yeah, this is the problem with the, like, they did a segment on the first SmackDown where all the women just came out to the ring and went, I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna kick your ass. What are you fighting for? Like, what is the point in this? And, like, they just brought in, like, tag teams. Like, I can see why they've got to bring in the titles because of that, but it's like, why did you take half the tag teams, put them on SmackDown? Like,
I just don't see why. The whole point, what this really comes down to, is that many people didn't really see SmackDown as a legitimate show for a couple of years. They saw it as Raw light, and I get that. It pretty much was. There was very rarely, like, they had to make a big deal that Brock Lesnar was going to be on SmackDown or The Rock was going to be on SmackDown. They shouldn't make a big deal of that. They should be there. So, SmackDown was never, like, after the draft and the brand split, it kind of went down in reputation and respect. I think, for me, the best way to kind of differentiate the two products is to differentiate the two products. It shouldn't come down to colour schemes. Right? I don't care if it's a red brand or a blue brand. I want to see something different. SmackDown needs to offer something more than just different characters and it being blue ropes than what Raw does. Why couldn't SmackDown have got the women's division? Put Charlotte, Paige, Sasha Banks, put all of them on SmackDown. So the women are on SmackDown. And I know one of the problems that people are going to say is, well, SmackDown's a 2-hour show, which means you can only have one women's match per show, and that doesn't get anyone over. I get that. I do. But then when you've got 2 women's belts, it doesn't differentiate the product. It dilutes it. It dilutes that division.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, the argument would be, well, something like UFC's got 2 women's divisions. Well, that's because they're 2 different weights. They offer both something different. Like,
yeah.
The issue is that this just dilutes everything, and it's like, I'm of the opinion that the more titles you have in a company, the worse it is. Like,
that's the other thing.
And the thing is, like, you're now adding titles there that have no, like, they should have just brought back the women's title or something, like the old, but I don't know, but like they should have done something where.
Well, that's the other thing. This is going to be, in my recent memory, this is going to be, what, the third individual tag team championship that we're going to have? Because it was the original one that went from the 90s or the 80s that got retired when the belts got unified, and they brought in the penny championships. That lineage was discontinued after that. And it went on with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. That's what the current Tag Team Championship's lineage is. It only goes back to 2002. Now they're bringing in a third Tag Team Championship within the past 20 years. Do you see?
And the thing is, as well, it's like, at what point do you just stop making fucking belts? Like,
here's, again, going back to what you said, the number of championships. So, up until now, really, as of this recording, there are only, if my maths is correct, 5 championships in the WWE. You've got 1 world title, 2 mid-cards, a tag team, and a women's. Actually, that's kind of enough. If you bring in the cruiserweights, I understand they need their own championship for their division. I get it. That would be a 6th championship. But by adding a women's and a tag team championship to SmackDown, and the Universal Championship, which we will talk about in just a minute. That's 3 new championship belts that are being made for this draft. That bumps up the 6 to 9. Do you know when the last time WWE had 9 championships in its and I'm not even counting NXT here, by the way. The last time WWE had 9 championships was around 2006 through to 2010 with ECW.
Oh yeah, that would be it, wouldn't it?
That's when they had 9 championships on the main shows. Then you've got NXT, which has 3 championships by itself. There's 12 championships collectively in WWE.
my god. And like, that's pretty horrendous. I mean, I don't understand why they don't, like you keep saying, why they make stuff exclusive for each brand. I don't get, like, instead they're just like, well, just fucking have the equivalent of the other brand's belt. Like,
yeah, that's
what?
the thing. Ultimately, you need an identity, right? The reason why a lot of products that are very similar have very different identities is because of the way they're advertised, right? The way they are presented. When you present Raw as just a red version of SmackDown, or you present SmackDown as just a blue version of Raw, it's not really much of a... Like, okay, look at Coke and Pepsi, right? Again, red and blue, weirdly enough. But the thing is that if Pepsi tasted the exact same as Coke, it wouldn't have been successful. Pepsi does have a different taste. I say this as a big Pepsi fan myself, unlike Mr. Quan over here, who supports the red brand, Go Raw. But that's the thing, there's a difference. Even though they're similar, there's a difference there for the consumer. I prefer Pepsi, Andy prefers Coca-Cola. That's fine.
I mean, that's the thing. And there's no, like... The only thing you can distinguish the two brands with would be, like, one has John Cena.
Well, here's another example. Right? Let's take good old TNA. And I don't mean current TNA, I mean good old TNA.
What,
right?
2005 TNA?
The X Division.
Oh, okay.
The X Division was a division that had never been seen in North America before. It went by the tagline, it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. It was a stylistic wrestling division, right? It was all about high-flying, flippy moves. And okay, that's not everyone's taste, but the X Division, in my eyes, I didn't watch TNA for Jeff Jarrett hogging the NWA title. I didn't watch it for that. I watched it for AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, the X Division. That is what set TNA apart, as well as having a six-sided ring. Again, something that hadn't been seen in North America because we were so used to four-sided rings. TNA understood that it had an identity and it separated itself. We're not going to have a four-sided ring, we're going to have a six-sided ring. We're not going to have a cruiserweight, we're going to have a style. Wait, that didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. There was an identity there. Yes, there was some things that were very similar to WWE, i.e. basically hiring everyone that WWE didn't want, but it had an identity with the X Division. It had an identity with a different ring. SmackDown and Raw, by the sounds of it, excluding the Cruiserweight division, is basically going to be the same show, just one's going to be red, one's going to be blue, one's going to have Finn on it, one's going to have Cena on it.
I mean, that's the problem, like, they don't... As much as I appreciate the subtle changes, like the set, well, the Raw one, okay. When they said they were going to make new sets, I literally thought they were going to get rid of the LED weird abortion on the screen and get rid of all that. Instead, they opted for more LED for Raw with a curvy thing, and then they were like, LOL, we're just going to have this weird tube thing on the fucking side. And then with SmackDown, it was like, we're just going to have the TLC stage, minus the chairs and everything. Yeah, so they went with the SummerSlam stage for fucking Raw, and then they went with the TLC stage for SmackDown, minus all the chairs and stuff. And it's just like,
again,
no, that's not distinguishable.
Yeah.
And then, okay, they changed the ropes, great, but it's like, it's the same thing, kind of.
I remember when I first started watching it in about 2002. I was 11 turning 12, and Raw had the massive Titantron. And it was all very steel, industrial, right? And it made sense. Raw materials, I get it. Really good, worked for the brand. SmackDown, the two smaller Titantrons, but the giant fist in the middle. You know what? SmackDown, fighting, I get it. There was a difference. They looked different. Yeah, right? Adding, like, a tube that goes over the Titantron on Raw, and then no tube on SmackDown, doesn't differentiate it too much.
No.
Like, there's a slight difference, but again, I understand why they've done it. Oh, it's cheaper, we'll just reuse the sets. That's why Raw and SmackDown look the exact same since 2008. And they have. They've looked the exact same since 2008, right? Nearly 10 years. Nearly 10 years, right? Do they not think that that might be a reason why? Can you imagine if Diet Coke looked exactly like Coca-Cola, but it just said the word diet on the top?
Yeah, it's just stupid. And, like, the thing is, yeah, they've got like all these subtle changes, but it's like, okay, not a lot really has changed. It's kind of the same thing, sort of, because it's like you've got Shane and Stephanie on the same press. Just, what the fuck?
No, I agree. I agree. I don't think there's enough changes. However, go on. What were you going to say?
The fucking Universal Championship.
Yes, let's talk about the Universal Championship. Barry, can we talk to Barry, WWE?
Oh, no, wait. Oh, I can't do it anymore. Wait. Hello?
Barry,
Hello?
have you been playing WWE 2K16 a little too much?
I just bought it, yeah. It's really good.
Have you been creating your own championships by any chance? And what did you call your creative championship?
Well, because it's in WWE Universe mode, I called it the Universal Championship. And then I went to Vince and said, look, we need a Universal Championship to look like this piece of shit.
And we're not making this up. You can legitimately, one of the call names for the creative championship mode in the 2K series is Universal. Legitimately. You can actually make that right now on your game. The WWE Universal Championship. You can make that right now. Go ahead, whilst you're watching / listening, go ahead, whack in the game, load it up, and make the WWE Universal Championship. Because that's what you can do.
Oh my god.
It sounds... I get it. I get why they called it that.
No, I don't.
No, I do. I get why they called it
it's
that.
the WWE Universe. No, you should have just called it the WWE Universe Championship, not Universal. That means that you're a champion of space! Fucking space! You've got a new course Independence Day, I swear to God, Vince! Like...
Yeah, as if the aliens are going to come down and go, we want a match with your Universal Champion against our Universal Champion.
And I don't like the fact that you are the champion of my universe. Like, what are you doing, Vince? What have you done? Jeff Goldblum can't save us now. So, like, this thing is just stupid. It's the worst name in the entire fucking world because we've only gone as far as the fucking moon, a fucking rock. We can't even get to Mars without sending robots. Why are you doing this?
Okay, you're getting a little overly angry that there might be an alien invasion over a WWE Championship.
It won't be an alien invasion, but it's still a stupid fucking name.
It's a very dumb name. To me, it doesn't feel like a legitimate world championship.
No, it's just a... Christ, what culture's cardboard belt is probably better than fucking...
Well, at least it was, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a main event championship.
No, it sounds like something my...
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
cousin would come up with.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
You know TNA's King of the Mountain Championship?
Yeah, it's exactly like that! What does that
Is it
mean?
me? Am I the only one that kind of gets that feeling that that's what this is?
You know
Like,
what?
are you
I
the
did
King
before.
of the Mountain? What?
I didn't before, but now I do. What? I'm the King of the Mountain Champion. What, did you fight on Everest for it? I'm the Universal Champion. Does that mean we finally get WWE in space? Of course not, no! It's fucking stupid!
Seth Rollins versus Finn. Not saying his surname because I can never say it. On Mars!
Yeah, is that gonna happen
WrestleMania
at SummerSlam?
43, because that's when you can actually get there.
It's just stupid. Like, if they wanted to call it anything, they should have just called it, I don't know, the World Heavyweight Title.
Well, I just don't know why they didn't bring the world
title.
title back.
What?
Do you remember back in 2002, Eric Bischoff had the brilliant idea, or maybe not Eric Bischoff, but someone in Raw Creative had the brilliant idea of deactivating the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep, I remember that bit.
And then, like, 8 months later, Stone Cold was like, oh, I'm bringing the world title back! Not the world title. I'm bringing the Intercontinental title back, brother! Hell yeah!
Did Christian win that?
No. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember things.
Yes. And they were just like, yeah, we're bringing it back. It was the same design. It had the same lineage. They just brought it back. Kind of like what they should have done with the Women's Championship. Just be like, we're bringing that one back because this looks like a butterfly and it's kind of embarrassing now. Let's just bring back the original. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can update the design, but just have a new, like, especially if it's got the exact same name as the previous championship. Just have that as the lineage. Just be like, it was deactivated for a couple of years, right? Just bring back the World Heavyweight Championship. It's got a legitimate history to it.
Like, that's the thing, like...
And you can't say that they don't want to bring it back because Chris Benoit held it, because they've still got the US title. And he held that.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's not like it's an ugly-looking belt. The big gold belt is a nice-looking belt. Like, I don't understand... I mean, it's universal. So does that mean that it's better than Dean Ambrose's belt? Because he's the champion of the world, but then he's champion of the... Like, from an outside perspective, you don't know what WWE Universe is. You would think whoever's the Universal Champion is clearly better because it's...
It just sounds like a championship.
Fucking dumb!
It would sound to me like a championship that you would find on 2K17. You would find on
16.
an eFed. You would find on an eFed. If you were playing EWR and you wanted to make your own version of WWE, that's the kind of belt you would make. It doesn't sound like a legitimate championship.
It sounds like... It legit sounds like something my little cousin would come up with. I'm champion of the universe. Like, that's what that is.
However, and I think we should move on a little bit, just before we go to a commercial break,
Yes.
I feel we should talk about some of the positives that have come from the brand splits.
Finn fucking Balor.
I just think, in general, the shows have been a lot stronger.
Yeah,
and by
like,
a lot, I mean by, like, months/years.
Yeah.
This has reinvigorated creative. And I feel that might be because they don't have to worry... Like, Raw creative doesn't have to worry about Dean Ambrose or John Cena or Randy Orton. And likewise, SmackDown creative now doesn't have to worry about Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, that's kind of... Oh, Brock Lesnar. Not that Brock Lesnar was ever on SmackDown, but you get what I mean. It's kind of... Divide and conquer has been the way that they've looked at it, and I think that's worked for the best. It's introduced a lot new rivalries, such as Finn going up against Seth. We've got Roman apparently looking like he's going to challenge for the US title now, which is going to be interesting. I think that's going to give him a much-deserved break from the main event scene. I think the fans have been bored of him since the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And again, on SmackDown, you've got American Alpha coming up. They're going to be, I think, a top tag team on SmackDown. They'll probably, in my opinion, will probably be the first tag team champions on the SmackDown brand. So it's going to reinvigorate the brands. I think it feels like they've been reinvigorated. Notice how they've also had jobber matches, which is something
what the fuck?
something that I didn't think I would miss, but I did until I saw one again.
And the thing is, like, it's actually helped that I predicted this would happen, because that's the idea of doing this. It's helped propel people who, quite frankly, were being underutilized, not used, for years. For fucking years.
Well, look
like,
at...
I don't know, Dolph Ziggler! For starters,
Yeah,
right?
Dolph Ziggler, he's now the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, which is about time.
And who would have thought that? Who would have thought that 6 months ago that would be a thing?
Yeah, because all he was doing was fighting Baron Corbin constantly for no reason.
The fucking...
On every pre-show of every pay-per-view.
Big Wolfman. Like, that's the thing. Like, so many people have been greatly helped by this thing. And, you know, I'm positive for once in my life about this. Yes, there's things that I would change, like the sets, make them a bit more different.
That's just like a cosmetic change. Like, what is actually happening in stories, in storylines, in matches, like the Sasha Banks Charlotte match, shocked everybody, because it was literally, like, kicked off the new era, and they had a legitimate match that went more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. But the only issue I have is that they probably should have done this after SummerSlam. Here's why.
Go on.
Like, the only reason why I feel that Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton is a big deal is because it is probably one of the last dream matches left. If this inter-brand thing was, I don't know, fucking Tyler Breeze versus Neville, right? I wouldn't give a fuck. Because it hasn't been long enough where the brands have been split so that an inter-brand rivalry would be like, ooh. So, like, I don't know. Maybe I would have... I wouldn't have started this inter-brand stuff straight a bloody way. like this like inter-brand rivalry thing.
I disagree. I think it's a good way, especially looking at the way the last episode of Raw ended with Randy Orton running through the crowd and RKOing Brock Lesnar, only to have security run down and chase him out. That's something that we haven't seen in an incredibly long time.
Brock just F5 Orton.
You what?
Did you not see what happened on SmackDown?
No, I haven't watched SmackDown yet.
Okay, I'll fill you in right now. So Brock Lesnar did the same thing and F5 Randy Orton.
Yeah, but I like that. I don't see what your problem is.
I don't have a problem. I mean...
Well, no, you do, because that's why you're complaining.
If it wasn't Randy Orton and Brock, it would suck, because it's only been 2 weeks. So it's just like, why does it matter?
Yeah, but to be fair, the match was made before the brand split.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't get what your problem is, then.
Anyway, it's good. There you go. Happy now. Jeez.
Right, and with that in mind, we'll probably return talking about the brand split once we're back. But for now, we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Everybody's talking at me.
So, Sam recently posted an article on Suplah.com. Go visit it, Suplah.com. Great articles are being posted. He posted one about Ring of Honor contracts expiring. Anyway, a user by the name of JSN says, let us hope that ROH doesn't travel the same path of TNA and becomes almost obsolete by the end of the year. If it does come to that conclusion, maybe Vince can step in and offer to buy Ring of Honor and merge it with NXT for a super developmental brand. Andy, what are your thoughts?
The problem with Ring of Honor, I think, started years ago. When they fired Gabe Sapolsky, then yeah, okay, there was a gimmick. There wasn't really a gimmick. There was a storyline going where it was like faction warfare with all these little factions and stuff, and it was pretty shit. And then they brought in. Eventually, they brought in Adam Pearce. Do you know who that is, Liam?
Not really. I don't really follow Ring of Honor, to be honest.
That's fine. Adam Pearce was like, he's a very old school booker, so they brought him in, and he brought in silly gimmicks like Grizzly Redwood.
Oh, fantastic.
He brought in all of these people and all these fucking gimmicks and stuff. He gets sacked eventually, and then guess who they bring in, Liam?
Not Vince Russo, I hope.
He's a man with a tennis racket.
I don't know.
Jim
Karen
Cornette.
White? Oh, Jim Cornette.
Right, Kieran White. But why were they bringing Chavo Guerrero? So
well, he had a tennis racket, didn't he?
No, he had a golf cart.
Oh.
He played golf. That was his thing. What were they going to do with that? Anyway, so the point is that Jim Cornette came in, pissed off a bunch of people, and did even more old school weird shit that no one liked. So, ever since then, kind of everything, in my opinion, has kind of gone... Like, when Sinclair bought them out, the idea was that, oh, we're going to be guaranteed on TV. Hooray! No! Because originally, Sinclair was on, like, Sinclair stations not many people had. They were on at, like, fucking 2 in the morning. It's ridiculous. And
I think I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually a good deal at all. It was shit. It was a terrible deal. Things have improved because they were on Pop TV at one point. No, they weren't. They were on Destination America, sorry. TNA's weird networks confuse me. It's fine. So, now they're on Comet. I don't know. The thing that flies in this fucking space.
And you make fun of me for not being able to say Finn's name.
Shut up. So, basically, you know, things are going okay, but they were offering people exclusive contracts, which obviously a lot of people are like, I don't want to work for a really small company exclusively, because I want to go fucking WWE or...
or make extra money on the independents.
Yeah, exactly. So loads of people in fucking just left because of that. Like people like Colt Cabana, who has come back because Jim Cornette's not there anymore. Because they had a falling out, and Kevin Owens hated Jim Cornette. Yeah. So he's got into a bit of a messy situation there.
Does Steve Corino now book it? Am I right in that?
I think Delirious still books it.
Okay.
So, the thing is that all of this kind of fucked up the company, and it hasn't really helped or worked, or it's just been a mess.
Alright, get to your point, Andy.
So, the point is that, will it become obsolete by the end of the year? No, I think it's obsolete now. I think it's pretty bad now. Like, if you remember, like, people like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Cesaro, who else was there? Loads
Seth Rollins.
of people. Seth Rollins was there. Now, I couldn't, tell you a single guy that they have besides them. The Briscoes and Jay Lethal. Like, that's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
That it's like that. And the fact that people are leaving in droves, like Roderick Strong, who's been there since the beginning, is gone. Fucking so many people are leaving. It's not good. They basically, ironically, killed off everything that made Ring of Honor good, and Kevin Kelly is not the greatest. So there you go. And will Vince buy it? I don't think so, because Vince has taken all the talent from Ring of Honor.
Well, here's my thing, because I don't know Ring of Honor, so I'm not going to answer the first part. But would Vince buy Ring of Honor and make a super developmental? No, Vince would not buy Ring of Honor. The only thing that Vince would or the WWE, it wouldn't be Vince personally. The only thing that WWE would be interested in purchasing would probably be their tape library.
Yeah, just for the network.
Just for the network, right? Because that's what more people would come to the network for if there was Ring of Honor.
Because I'm looking at a bunch of old RH stuff on my shelf, and it's just this great events.
And WWE has used Ring of Honor footage. They've talked about Ring of Honor. They've mentioned it. But they've never had, like, a working relationship. Because ever since WWE bought WCW and ECW, people have said, oh, would they ever buy out Ring of Honor? Would they ever buy out TNA or Lucha Underground? The thing is, WWE, back in 2000 and 2001, they were, well, maybe not 2001, but the reason why WWE bought WCW was because WCW almost put WWE out of business, right? Like, WWE was fighting for their lives. And I think partly one of the reasons why WWE bought WCW was, yes, the tape library, because that was a substantial amount of footage there for something like the network that we have now. That was playing the long game. But also they knew that WCW was a recognisable name. Maybe as recognisable as WWE, maybe more so at one point. So with WCW getting a different owner with different networks, there's a chance WCW could bring the fight back to WWE, and they wanted to knock that on the head. So they bought it, and they killed their own competition because they didn't want to put up with that again. ECW, slightly different. WWE did business with ECW, right?
WWE gave
money to ECW.
Yeah.
It was, at one point, basically a glorified developmental system anyway.
Yeah, like, there was the whole reason why Al Snow was in ECW was because they sent Al Snow to ECW. They're like,
and don't forget, ECW invaded WWE in the 90s on Raw.
Yep, that was a thing that happened. And like, if you look at the Paul Heyman documentary, he even states that, okay, the WWE wanted a bunch of wrestlers, including Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, ECW was like, Paul Heyman was like, well, these Tommy Boy Records people give us money for using their music, but having like a lower third or a sponsorship, so we get money.
Yeah.
If we give you Too Cold Scorpio, we lose $1,000, which for ECW was like, oh Christ, we need everything we can get.
Money. Yeah.
So Vince was like, okay, I give you $1,000, Paul. No. Don't give me the $1,000. Don't give me the $1,000. Give ECW the $1,000 a week. So the whole fucking time, ECW was being funded, sort of, kind of, by Vince McFucking-Man.
Yeah, so there was an investment there.
Yeah. And guess what Vince did with ECW? He raided the shit out of them too. The Dudleys, the Dudleys, Taz, it's Taz! Taz! What a waste of time he became. A whole bunch of people from ECW. Yeah. Even Lita, you could argue, was from ECW. So the point is like, you raided the shit out of their company.
No. The point is that WWE had a financial interest in ECW dating back from the 90s. That's why they bought them. So one was to kill off the competition before it could rise up again, and the other was because they had financial interest.
So they would get first pick with the raiding of the...
Yeah.
Like, I want Taz!
Whereas something like TNA, WWE, the only time WWE has ever done business with TNA were to allow Ric Flair to come into the Hall of Fame whilst he was still under contract with TNA. And in return, in return, the Intercontinental Champion Christian was allowed to go to Slammiversary. He was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, and he showed up in TNA. Obviously, he couldn't wrestle. He just did a little segment in the ring. And that's the only time. There was no finances were changed. It was an agreement between the two to just swap talent for one night.
And to be
with
fair,
Ring of Honor, whilst WWE has acknowledged Ring of Honor and used its footage, it's not quite to the level that ECW was. They've not had Ring of Honor invade Raw or SmackDown.
No, and the thing is, I feel like they're having different partnerships with people that they care more about. For some reason, they seem to love Evolve. I don't know why. No one else does.
Evolve is a company that I could see them working heavily with, and if they ever got into financial trouble, they would help out, and if push comes to shove, they would buy.
Yeah,
I could see that.
There's more.
Yeah, there's more of a chance of WWE absorbing Evolve into NXT than Ring of Honor.
Yeah, because the thing is, Evolve is like the fucking like it just branches off sort of like Gabe Sapolsky was booking Ring of Honor and then he got fired, so then he was like, I'm going to book Evolve instead. So like it's kind of the brainchild of Gabe Sapolsky and kind of is that like splits off from Ring of Honor. So why would you work with Ring of Honor if you're working with the other thing that's probably not going to ask for much money if it's running out, you know what I mean? And for WWE to work with Ring of Honor, they would have to work with Sinclair, which is like a fucking television company, so that's not going to fucking happen, is it?
It would be too much of an issue at the moment.
Yeah, this is a conflict.
Bullet Club versus The Shield asked, Andy! This is for Andy specifically. I feel so
good.
left out. I
like these comments.
Who would you want as your tag team partner out of these people?
Oh god.
Roman Reigns.
Oh god.
Eva Marie, only if you were a female. Stop being a perv and stop playing with yourself.
My hands are here, by the way. There's no lube, there's nothing here.
Mojo Rawley. Because you don't get hype, you stay hype.
This is like saying marry, fuck, kill, isn't it?
It is a little bit. Who would you tag team? Who would you fuck? And who would you kill?
Well, I know who I would fuck. That's...
Roman Reigns. Okay, right, brilliant.
I just walked straight in that.
You did, yes. And don't forget, if you choose Eva Marie, you're a female in that scenario.
I hate Roman Reigns. I hate Eva Marie.
Okay. Mojo Rawley it is then. There you go. You got your answer.
I don't get hype.
He would
Mojo
rather
Rawley
tag
it
with
is then.
Mojo Rawley.
I couldn't team up with Roman Reigns. There's no way in hell
I'd love to see you standing side by side with Roman Reigns.
Fuck you, Roman. I'm not a good guy. I'll just end up walking out the ring. That's like, no, I can't deal with this. At least Mojo Rawley is like, I can imagine that's what I'm like when I'm drunk. So I would have to get really pissed. I'm like, yeah, let's get fucking hype.
Okay, as someone who's seen you drunk, you just turn into Roman Reigns more than anyone.
Oh God, no.
You're like, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm drunk. That is what you become.
Well, get used to that. So yeah, Mojo it is then.
Everybody's talking at me.
So, is there any last comments on the draft from yourself?
It's okay. It's still a bit too early, but
Fantastic,
SmackDown,
great choice of topic then, Andy.
SmackDown kind of really sucked that first week. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
I didn't think it sucked.
In comparison to Raw.
Yes. It wasn't as good as Raw, yes.
I mean, as far as SmackDowns go, it was good. But in comparison to Raw... But here's the thing. Both shows are not going to be able to keep this up forever. Like, you can't always have someone debut or a title change every week. So, we have to just see...
You have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what it's like when they're doing, like, not an average show, but I can't think of any other word at the moment.
When the dust has settled,
yeah,
and the new championships have debuted.
What are they producing consistently week after week after week after week?
Yeah.
So, Rocky Lesnar, the fucking enhancement dude. He hasn't been penalised by WWE because he wasn't working for him at the time. Is their excuse, basically? I don't think that's right. And it also suggests, do you even drug test all of these people? Because if you're on those tablets, that probably meant that you were on something at some point. So at what point were you on something? What the hell are you doing? Why are you not drug testing these guys?
Well, here's the thing for me, is that it seems very iffy that he hasn't been penalised. I understand why, because they're building up to a match at SummerSlam, and if he is found that he is doping, and it is all confirmed, I think he is suspended for 2 years, am I right?
Yeah, he'll be suspended for 2 years.
Yeah, WWE cannot afford that. So they've pulled out, oh, we're not a legit sport, we're like Game of Thrones, but with more oil and less clothing.
It was the reason why Vince got away with the steroid trial. It was like, LOL, we're not real.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's like, he's just... It's basically being in like a theatre on stage. But he landed on his head once after botching a shooting star press. So that happened. Yes. Why are you bringing that up, Vince? I don't know. Just want to prove that things can happen in the ring. Just shut up, Vince. Okay,
yeah,
I'm getting lessons from Barry. Shut up! Just stop talking, Vince.
You're becoming a liability here. Like, shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, this is...
I'd love it if someone said that to Vince. You're becoming a liability. Just shut up.
Just shut the fuck up. No, the thing is, with Brock, I mean, I feel sorry for Mark Hunt, who has probably the funniest name in the history of our planet. Two, the guy has actually fought multiple people that have been on PEDs or some kind of enhancement thing. So he was just like, I want all of Brock's money that he made from beating me, or I'm going. Yeah. Which, bit extreme, but I can kind of see where he's coming from.
Well, yeah, because essentially what it was Brock was cheating.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, he's faced off against people like Bigfoot Silver, who was like on something, and he was fighting in Pride, where there was no fucking regulations, so they were all fucking on something, probably. And he's just sick to fucking death of it. He's like, this is the UFC, this is the biggest MMA company in the fucking world, we're being tested regularly by the United States fucking testing, like, major organisation. Why in the shit did Brock Lesnar get away with not being tested for a period of time? And then, why, when you knew that he failed, why was he allowed to fight? And the argument that I've always had is, okay, in baseball, where they had, like, this scandal there with people who were on PEDs, who gives a fuck? You're batting the ball away. You're not punching people in the fucking face for a living. Like, when just recently a guy called Michael Venom Page kneed a guy called Cyborg in the head, he wasn't on anything, but he kneed him so hard in the head that he fractured his skull and it's caved in, where he's probably going to have to retire now. If Brock did that and he was on something, or anyone, Jesus, what damage could you do to a human being? It's horrendous. And that's the thing. It's like...
Well, this is the other thing as well, is that the argument was, well, Brock wasn't on steroids. He wasn't. What he was doing is he was taking anti-estrogen pills. And anti-estrogen pills, for those who are biologically not in the know, much as my friend over here is, what it means is that it's... I don't think it stops, but it limits the amount of estrogen the human body creates. Now, obviously, the estrogen is the female hormone, but we all have it. Sorry, Andy, who claims to be an alpha.
I'm an alpha male. I don't... Okay, I'm still do, because it's fucking biological.
Yes, but what it was to subdue that hormone, so that naturally he had more testosterone in his body, because it was far more than what a normal person would have, despite not putting steroids in. But it is still illegal, because it means that you have more testosterone than you should.
It's like, basically, you might as well have been doing steroids.
Yeah, essentially. That's kind of what it is. Sorry, I was just checking. My laptop's getting really hot, so I'm just making sure it's not overheating.
Okay.
But it just seems a bit odd to me that WWE has allowed themselves to become a bit of a target here, because he's not only is UFC not really punishing Brock for doping, but WWE isn't.
Well,
and
the
they've
thing
kind of they've done what they can to say, no, he still works for us. He's not.
The thing about UFC is, one, because it's a legit sport, they're normally regulated by athletic commissions, so it's up to the commissions to do something about it, and it's up to USADA, the United States Doping Association, or one of the other A means, like, it's up to them to do something about it. But even if they give Brock 2 years and he's banned, he's never going back again. So why does it, like, I don't get how that's a punishment. And even okay, let's say, because WWE are fucked here one way or another. If WWE don't do anything, they're buggered and they're bad. But then if they suspend Brock for 30 days, he can still come back for SummerSlam. So it's not really, he doesn't really get punished. Brock is basically untouchable here. God damn it, Brock!
It makes me question, along with Roman Reigns and his suspension, it makes me start to question just how legit these wellness tests are that WWE does.
Because how long's he been doing this for? The argument was, well, we didn't test him during the time when he was fighting, training to fight. But
well, I would assume that because he is still an employee, he should still be regulated to testing.
Yeah, he should be tested by USADA, and he should be tested by the Fed. I don't get it.
And with Roman Reigns, sorry to turn it back to Roman Reigns, because this is a topic that we've beaten a dead horse over this topic, but, you know, letting him do Money in the Bank and letting him appear at Raw, I think, was a mistake.
You mean Battleground?
No, Money in the Bank. Because he had failed his wellness policy before his Money in the Bank match.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
He should have been stripped of the championship. Anybody else, if this was an Intercontinental Champion or a United States Champion, they would have been stripped of the belt and they would have been suspended.
Yeah, and I don't understand why, like, the commissions just can't overturn the loss to, like, a no contest or a draw. I don't know, because he wasn't, like, he hadn't been in a cage for over 4 or 5 years, right? The fact that he was able to beat the living piss out of Mark Hunt, that doesn't look suspicious to you? And then, like, that's gonna hurt. I don't think will it hurt Mark Hunt's career? Maybe, because I don't know. I mean, it's just a joke.
No, I don't think it'll hurt. Simply because that's like the guy was on like, he was doped up. Right, anyone, a car, a lorry would have been beaten by Brock Lesnar.
Did you see his weigh-in?
No, I didn't.
He doesn't look human.
That's what I mean. If a killer whale went up against Brock Lesnar, the killer whale would have lost.
You know that advert for SummerSlam years ago where he F5'd a shark?
Exactly.
That's what would happen in the cage.
Exactly.
I'm gonna F5 a shark!
Right. So I don't think it hurts his career, because that's like saying, well, you know, the truck got destroyed by Brock Lesnar. We can never have trucks again. You know what I mean? No, that's a terrible analogy. Of course you don't know what I mean. But with that in mind, I think we should start wrapping this show up.
Yes. So, the brand split. It's good. We would do things a bit different. Hey.
Let us know what you think about it. We've got polls on the side. I'm not sure which side of the screen I'm on, so I'm just waving at both sides here. We've got polls. Join in. I'm sure we're going to put some up for you. I'm not sure what they are. We'll figure it out when it's online. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you want to see rise to the top of each brand? Who would you rather see less of? Where do you think Heath Slater's going to go? That's the ultimate question. He appears on both at the moment. That's insane.
He could be in UFC. No, he can't. So, you can find us on suplah.com. That's our website. Yeah, we create articles and we do lists and things and stuff.
We don't do lists.
We don't do lists. We're not What Culture. But we do. What else do we do? We do the broadcast, which is exclusive, where we don't talk about wrestling. That's always a thing. Not follow us on Facebook. That's not a thing. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us. Shut up!
We need Sam for this bit, because we're just.
Shut up! I can do it! I can do it! So you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. I think
Andy now has Instagram.
I now have Instagram. Sam, put the image on now! So follow me on Instagram, where I post things every so often.
And only one person likes it.
And then he unliked it. So yeah, that's all the plugs, and this has been the Suplah.
You know what? If you could have done that flawlessly, I'd have given you 10 points for the Riddle Streak. Absolute shame. Oh no, you got 2 likes now.
Yay!
Yep.
Morgan?
What's going on?
Oh, my internet died. Oh.
Oh, fantastic. Great. I love your internet.
Oh, it's gonna just reconnect now. Shit.
Alright, I'll give you 5 minutes. Think about your
I
answer.
thought the problem on your end, so I've been recording it's going, fucking stupid Skype.
Oh no,
My
you just
God.
suddenly went really quiet.